There are only two remaining teams with perfect and unblemished records here at the 2025 ISC World Tournament. Tonight, they meet for a berth in tomorrow's championship final as the reigning ISC champion Hill United Chiefs take on the Northeast Drillers with a huge prize available to the winner of this one. Peter Loubardias alongside Blair Setford. And Blair, an interesting matchup in a number of different ways. These teams have met 4 times during the course of the 2025 season. The most recent meeting came at the USA Major Men's Nationals, with Hill United scoring a bunch late and winning that game by a score of 10-4. As you get a look at their hitting lineup, and it's exactly the same as the lineup they went with last night in their 5-inning, 8-0 triumph over JDT First Energy. But here is probably, for me, the most interesting note. In the 4 meetings this year, the Hill United Chiefs have faced Waymo Mata for 3 2/3 innings. That's it.
That's it, and I'll tell you what, Peter, the Huemo Mata that they may have seen earlier in the season is not the Huemo Mata that is out on the board doing his warm-up pitches right now. To a lot of observers around the park, he looks a lot like Huemo Mata of 2022, and we know what happened that year.
He pitched his team to an ISC World title, was the top pitcher. So far, Wemel in this event, coming off a outstanding 4-2 triumph, a complete game 7-inning effort against the Bear Creek Gremlins last night in a winner's bracket semifinal. Wemel, an 8-time All-World pitcher, has pitched 20 innings, given up 9 runs, 12 hits. He struck out 34 and walked 9. Those 3 2/3 innings against Hill United came on June 21st in the Chiefs Challenge in relief in a 6-2 Hill United victory. And away we go with a berth in the title game on the line on this lovely Friday night in Mankato. As Shane Bolin leads things off, as he always does, for Hill United. The 34-year-old from St. John's is 2 for 10 at the ISC World Tournament with a couple of doubles. On the year, Shane's batting .328 with 7 doubles, 3 home runs, and 11 runs batted in. As Mata looks in, and catcher Juan Zara for the sign, and delivers high off of Zara's glove to even the count. Hill United with 9-0 victories over the Junkyard Dogs and the Lacey A's. They downed the Kegel Black Knights 7-0, and then the 8-0 victory over the JDT First Energy squad in a game where they exploded for 6 in inning number 5. So their last 2 outings look lopsided on the scoreboard. Doesn't tell the whole story, Blair.
No, anything but, particularly the Fargo game. The Knights leaving 10 guys aboard, and JDT in that game last night. Really, Peter, again, until they weren't.
Boland, and that is foul of Gonzalo Masmu. Schiller's the shortstop. Zach Shaw, who's had a great tournament offensively. Thomas Sanoka, of course, the battery of Waymo Mata and Juan Zara. Milheim in right. Teo Migliavaca is in center. And the left fielder is 22-year-old Jordan Solorio. The ball and 2 strikes to Shane Boland. And on one hop, an easy play for Waymo Mata to open the game. Blair, in watching Waymo this week, what's been the difference as opposed to many of the outings you've witnessed in the last 2 years?
He has found the strike zone with consistency. He's working ahead of batters rather than falling behind. I think the biggest thing, Peter, he's found his mechanics. We talked about how, as the pitching coach at Virginia Tech, he does a lot of arm throwing, not using the legs. It's taken him all season to get the legs in rhythm.
And up and in to Brad Ezekiel, who's 4 for 10, the 8-time All-World player and 38-year-old product of Holyrood, Newfoundland, who's batting .341 on the year for the Chiefs with 11 home runs and 30 runs batted in. And Mata takes a look at the landing spot, which has certainly been in question at times at Caswell Softball Complex.
It's so difficult for that not to get chewed up. Certain guys like big holes out their pits. Almost other guys would prefer that it remain more or less intact. I think Joe Todd would like for it to be intact. He almost got swallowed up by a crater out there in the ISC2 award ceremony.
Mata finds the top of the strike zone on Ezekiel, who's homered here and driven in 5. Has 8 multi-hit games, 10 multi-RBI games this year. Change up, and there is Ezekiel's first hit of this particular night as he sends it through the hole into left field. I don't refer to him this way often, but really should. He's a professional hitter.
It's just his approach, the way that he studies pitchers. He doesn't get cheated in terms of chasing the pitcher's best pitch.
Lenny Villavazzo in the number 3 spot. As Mata throwing with good velocity but missed up. Ezekiel asking for time as he sweeps some dirt out of the running path. Villavazzo 4 for 8 at this ISC World Tournament with a double and 2 runs batted in. And strike 1 on the inside portion of the plate. We'll get to our umpires shortly. Looks like Scott McLaren from here down at first base. The 1-1 to Villavazzo, who missed 6 weeks earlier in the year due to injury. This is a mile in the air. Solorio over, and he'll run out of real estate. Just dropped on the other side of the fence. Villavazzo swung it well in Oklahoma City at the USA Major Men's National Championship, where Hill United lost in Game 2 of the championship final. He had not played in a game prior to Oklahoma City, talking about Villavazzo, since he jammed his wrist in Mitchell, Ontario, diving into second base in a game against guess who? The Northeast Drillers.
Lenny had a brace on the wrist and the thumb all summer long following that game. Every weekend I'd see Lenny. Playing yet? No, boss.
2-2. Ezekiel aboard with a base hit. Solorio in good position and will move 3 or 4 steps to his left for out number 2 as Villavazzo with a good at-bat but flies out. And when facing pitchers like Waymo Mata and Marco Diaz, making them work and go deep into counts can pay big dividends as the games go along. Although you'd never know it. Waymo Mata pitched 177 pitches in a game earlier this week. Or 143.
I think it was Roman Godoy who had the 177 in that game.
As Bruno Matroni, the 39-year-old, who caught this gentleman many a time when they were combining for Argentina's national team. Bruno has stepped away from that program in the last couple of years. Did not participate at the recently completed World Cup. The guy right behind him is the new starting catcher in Juan Zara.
Yeah, Juan apprenticed for a number of years under Bruno. Sadly, Bruno's last World Cup with Argentina was rather injury-filled down in Auckland, too, in 2022. He'll always remember 2019, though, for that championship and the welcome home that they got, too. What a party in Paraná.
Matroni fouls the inside pitch away. Bruno, who will turn 40 on the 16th of December, batting .310 on the year. He's homered 4 times and driven in 17. Here in Mankato, 2 for 10, a double, a home run. That came in Game 2 for the Chiefs against the Lacey A's. And he did double and drive in a key run, Blair, last night early in the game. It was the only run that they would need. That one down the right field line. Schiller shows good hands to get the force. So Ezekiel a hit, but that's it. And the Drillers, who have swung it very well all week long, will get their first crack. We'll take a look at their batting lineup when we return to the winners bracket final of the 2025 ISC World Tournament.
Called strike 3, the outside corner. They weren't going to Yeah. High in the air, Viavazo comes to get it, and the Chiefs are back to the top of the mountain. The gloves fly. The celebration is underway.
Marco Diaz, as expected, gets the ball in the circle as he has to begin every game. And here's the lineup that Marco and the Chiefs will face: Migliavaca, Milheim, Solorio, Zara, Schiller, Anoka, Kronk, Masmu, and Zach Shaw, who's hit as well as anyone here in Mankato, despite the fact that the second baseman is in the number 9 spot. In the outfield for Hill United, Nick White in left, Ezekiel in center, and of course Alan Pecker gets the start in right field. Boland's the shortstop, Lenny Viavazo at second, Tony Gonzalez is at first, Blake Hunter is at third base once again. In the battery, Bruno Matroni and Marco Diaz. Marco has pitched 19 scoreless innings so far during this event.
Peter, the Blue Crew for the winner bracket final tonight. Behind the plate, Glenn Brown from Oak Harbor, Washington State. Steve Galler, Cobourg, Ontario, is over at first. And you were right about Scott McLaren down on third from Penticton, British Columbia.
Teo Migliavaca in his usual leadoff spot. And Diaz misses in with his first pitch.
And something got into the eye of Bruno Matroni. He had the mask off pretty quick, and maybe just a little fleck of dust.
Marco, 19 innings, no runs here in Mankato, given up 8 hits, struck out 45, and walked 7. Threw a 5-inning no-hitter last night with 12 strikeouts and a couple of walks in the 8-0 triumph over JDT First Energy. And Diaz has certainly thrown with great velocity all week. We've seen him even once at 88 on the radar.
Peter, there was a social media post that Luciano put out today. Said it hit 90.
As Diaz looks to find his rhythm early. Pitched Hill United to the title 1 year ago in Surrey, British Columbia. And he delivers the drop ball for a strike on the outside corner. The one pitch that he has used very effectively has been the rise ball. And that hasn't always been a pitch that he went to in key situations. And he battles back to post his 46th strikeout of the tournament as he gets Teo Migliavacca. And he's never easy to strike out at any time.
No, he's not. And you talked about the rise ball, Peter. That's a change of form for Marco Diaz. It's always been about velocity, the drop, and then the changeup, how much he can gear that pitch down. Adding in the rise as a strikeout pitch is phenomenal.
Blaine Milheim is having an excellent ISC World Tournament. 2 for 4 in the win over the Bear Creek Gremlins last night. He homered and doubled in that game. Has a hit in every game they have played. In fact, he has 3 multi-hit games so far this week. The pride of Homer, Michigan, the 28-year-old member of the United States national team. Recently, he and Marco Diaz were playing together. Now, they're on very opposite sides, as those two combine to help the United States win a bronze medal in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. There's Milheim ahead in the count. And Diaz thought he had his first strike, but falls behind Milheim to the tune of 3 balls and no strikes. And a big grin from Marco Diaz.
Peter, the home run by Blaine Milheim last night, the insurance run that the Drillers needed, and of course a couple of late solo shots by the Gremlins made that one close. You can never get enough runs against any of these top teams.
That's so true. 3-1 to Blaine Milheim. And Diaz comes back with a couple of strikes. This one, much to the chagrin of Milheim, who was 6 for 21 for the United States at that World Cup. A .278 batter at the ISC World Tournament 1 year ago. And he was 5 for his first 5, Blair, or 5 for his first 6. And he punches one into right field as he just continues to remain hot.
Well, he's the number 2 leading hitter in the tournament, and another couple of at-bats like that, he'll take over that number 1 spot from Fetty Eder.
That's his 8th hit. I have him at 8 for 15. Federico Eder is 12 for 20 for STK. What a story they've been here. Boland and Villavazzo can't make the catch.
No, he just flat out dropped it.
So a tailor-made, what looked to be 3-6-4 double play. And I don't know if Villavazzo got screened a little bit. No, he just missed it. So Solorio on now with 2 outs. Milheim was forced at shortstop. Just that little delay, though, Blair, by Milheim seemed to throw the timing off. Juan Zara in the batter's box, the 32-year-old from Paraná in Argentina, batting .400 on the year for the Northeast Drillers. 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. He's 5 for 12 at the ISC World Tournament.
Well, no hit bigger than that walk-off home run 2 nights ago for Juan Zara off of countryman Roman Godoy.
That in a 7-6, 8-inning triumph over the Ostrander Norseman. 2 out, ball and a strike to Zara, and the pitch from Marco Diaz, a drop, misses outside.
And Peter, I just want to correct on the umpires. I went with the list we were given this morning. That is Scott McLaren from Penticton, BC, over at first. Ed Otterman has subbed in. Eddie, of course, from Kitchener, Ontario, at third.
Believe that was a changeup, or either that or just slipped out of the hands of Marco Diaz, who falls behind. 3 balls and a strike. 1 on and 1 hit so far in this half inning. Zara, inside out type swing, and thankfully that didn't hit anybody. Just a screamer over top of the fence. It had people ducking for cover over there, I know that. Full count to Juan Zara, who was a second-team all-world performer last year at this event in Surrey, British Columbia. And fouls that away to the right side as well. So an early error for the Chiefs, or they'd be out of the inning. And for the most part, they've played fairly flawlessly through their first 4 wins. And Diaz missed on the payoff pitch and walked Zara. And with 2 out, the mandatory runner as Milheim goes back in to run. And Cam Schiller, the 35-year-old from Prescott, Arizona, is the batter. He's 6 for 12 here in Mankato. 2 doubles, a home run, and 5 runs batted in. All 5 of those runs batted in came in their opening win over the Masonry Sting. And he was behind the Diaz rise ball for a strike.
Peter, that 500 average has him number 3 overall in the league table for the tournament.
And I think a lot of those numbers, Blair, were going into today. And that is certainly changed in certain cases. As Diaz with an outside drop ball. That was a pitch a couple of games ago. You mentioned the Kego Black Knights stranding 10 runners in a Chiefs win earlier in the week. And it was difficult for him to get that pitch to left-handed batters, and Schiller on the high rise up in the zone, able to hack it back to keep the at-bat going. Runners at first and second, 2 out, 2 strikes to Schiller, who hit .450 for the United States at the World Cup, as he's been a long-time member of that team and starting shortstop. So an early opportunity for the Northeast Drillers. Did Schiller go? The answer is yes. So a quality changeup from Marco Diaz, who works his way out of a bit of a jam. It's 0-0 in this winner's bracket final on Friday night at the ISC World Tournament.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
A threat for the Drillers, but Marco Diaz able to work his way out of it with a key strikeout of Cam Schiller. With runners at first and second is Waymo Mata back to toe the rubber. He gave up one hit in the first to Bradley Ezekiel. Tony Gonzalez, the 35-year-old from Mexico, batting .309 on the season for Hill United. 25 for 81. He's doubled 6 times. He's gone deep, including twice here at the ISC World Tournament, and he's cashed in 22 runs. 1 for 3 last night in the win over JDT First Energy. 5 for 12 overall in Mankato. Gonzalez punches it, and an easy play for Solorio. Looked like Mata took something off that rise, and Gonzalez, not the full swing, but still able to muscle it into mid-left for out number 1. Blake Hunter, the batter. And he looks at a strike at the knees. The 38-year-old from Nanaimo, British Columbia, is chatting with Blake, who actually pitches in his home league. They have 3 teams who play in Nanaimo. It came up at the hotel today because I said, is there a position in this sport that you don't play? And he goes, no, I even pitch in our home league right now, and told me I got a pretty good changeup. He said the other pitches aren't quite as good. I know one thing, he's a pretty good hitter. 3 for 11 here in Mankato. 317 overall on the season. And again, a little something off. At least I thought so. The radar would suggest differently. I thought I just saw 87.
I don't know about 87, but he was 82 consistently last night.
There's no way that rise was in that neighborhood. There's a fine changeup that Mata wanted. Got a big grin on his face as another ball ends up out there. He'll make the exchange and throw a lovely knuckler back to his catcher. That had
They
no
all do
spin
that.
on it at all.
Every time there's a loose ball like that where they're bringing it back to the catcher to give it to the umpire, they all throw knuckleballs. Every single one of them.
I haven't noticed it a lot, to be frank.
Can't just throw a 4-seamer in. Got to throw a knuckleball.
2-2 to Blake Hunter here in the second inning. And a good swing by Blake on the drop ball. At 80 miles an hour, Waymo Mata, 8-time All-World player at the ISC World Tournament. He's headed to the Hall of Fame, isn't he, Blair?
Certainly with those numbers, they're not getting any worse, are they?
Doesn't seem to. Not that he's anywhere ready to think about that. And Hunter does well to stay off the rise ball.
Older brother Lucas headed to the Hall of Fame next year.
Blake was 1 for 3 in the game last night against JDT. Homered earlier in the tournament against the Lacey A's, and Blake very unhappy and have to be careful in these kind of situations. Although to the umpires' credit, they understand the meaning of games like this, and I find generally will put up with a little extra sometimes as Mata records his first strikeout of the night and his 35th of the tournament. Now facing fellow countryman Alan Pecker, the 27-year-old right fielder who had a throw for the ages to home plate. It didn't even register an out. That's part of the interesting story.
It just kept the runner where he was, but it marveled every single person here.
Literally. Allen's hitting .324 on the year, 3 doubles, 4 triples, 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in. 3 for 11, all of them extra base hits in Mankato. Can lay down a bunt, but that one got away from him. Punched it right to Thomas Sanoka. A quick 1-2-3. Go the Chiefs in the top of the second. We are looking for the game's first run in this all-important winners bracket final at the 2025 ISC World Tournament, and the best place to watch softball anywhere, Softball Premier TV.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Thomas Sanoka, the 34-year-old from Auckland, New Zealand, longtime member of that country's national team, to start things in the bottom of the second in this 0-0 game to the winner. A direct berth into tomorrow's title game, slated right now for 5:30. I'm going to guess it starts a little later. Diaz with a first pitch strike. An error forced him to work out of a little more trouble than he would have liked in inning number 1, but was able to battle his way out with a huge strikeout on Cam Schiller. Pulled the string on a changeup. Anoka is batting .500. He's 4 for 8 here in Mankato. He's doubled, homered, and one of the run batted in leaders. I have him at 9. He had 5 in their first game against the Masonry Sting. The Drillers have scored plenty of runs.
They were averaging 12 through the first 2 games. That's come down a little bit over the last 2. Peter, Thomas Anoka, it's not quite as exaggerated as Brad Ezekiel, but certainly with the bat held very high over the head as well.
Just not as much of a waggle, but you're right. Bradley basically points it right down at
right
the pitcher.
Right at the pitcher, yeah. 2-2
to Anoka. a longtime member of New Zealand's national team. Had just 3 hits for the Bear Creek Express at last year's ISC World Tournament. Now he's a Northeast driller. A 2-time All-World player in 2016 and 2021.
Tommy got engaged in our off-season back at home in New Zealand. Became an uncle as well.
And has drawn a leadoff walk to begin the bottom of the second inning.
Has always had a good eye at the plate and has worked more than his share of walks over the years.
Marshall Cronk, the 30-year-old from Brisbane, Australia. 1 for 7 here in Mankato. 1 hit came against the Masonry Sting. Had 4 hits for his home country at the World Cup. There's Marco Diaz, a drop that registers 86.
Marshall's been dropping in the order too, Peter. He came into the tournament batting 6th. Normally, he's in the 4, maybe at worst the 5 spot, but scuffling here a little bit, as you just said.
In a shortened season, he's batting .213.
And they actually pinch hit for him last night. Now, that was more about getting Riley Makia into the game than it was pinch hitting necessarily for Marshall Cronk. That just happened to be who was due up.
And boy, did he deliver.
Oh!
2-run double.
A ringing double. Smashed it off the fence.
And it turned a 1-0 game into a 3-0 game in the late stages. Blaine Milheim would add a solo home run in the 7th before the Gremlins delivered 2 solo shots in the 7th to make it very interesting. And Marco Diaz does not look quite as comfortable early in this game as he has in other games this week. So he wipes the brow, the lean back, and the delivery. The count runs full to Cronk. Marco shakes off Matroni a couple of times. On the ground, Bolin Viavazo for 2. First go-round wasn't executed as well as the Chiefs would have liked. That one helps you out in a hurry. 6-4-3, and there's 2 away.
Nothing like a double play to clear the bases.
As Bolin went down to get it, Viavazo, good turn, and Marshall was out by about 4 steps. As the bag has come dislodged.
And that happened during the previous game as well, and it's just got to get reset on that magnetic peg.
And of course, Shane Bolin's in the middle of helping. He would help anyone in any situation. That's just who he is. I remember last year, player was hurt. I think it was in a game involving the JB Bombers.
I think it was Cesar Rodriguez, if I remember right.
And he came right out of the dugout immediately.
Yeah, both he and the Chiefs trainer,
Craig Lyons.
And Shane obviously has some EMT type training as a police officer. But when the EMT showed up, Shane was helping roll him onto the board.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Certain things you never forget. That would be one of them. Gonzalo Mazmu, the batter now with 2 outs. And with the injury to Riley Macchia, that's why he's played more. Blaine Milheim would be at third, and Macchia would be in right field.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So Diaz trying to find a groove, and a double play ball absolutely helping the causes as he falls behind Gonzalo Masmu, who is not from downtown Mankato, in case you were wondering. Bats with a hand separated. And Diaz, an inside strike to number 66, who's batting .324 on the year for the Northeast Drillers. 3 doubles, a triple. 2 for 10 here at the ISC World Tournament. 0 for 3 in the game last night versus the Bear Creek Gremlins, whose tournament came to an end earlier today. Blair, did you mention 14 Final Fours in a row for the Gremlins prior to today?
That was the streak that they were on, and it goes back to the Chicago, New York Gremlins, and even prior to that. It's quite something when you think of it, that level of consistency.
It's an incredible streak, beyond. But they lost to the Bear Creek Express, Ty Sebastian, a 3-hit shutout. They're one of the 4 teams left in the hunt. These 2 teams battling for a berth in tomorrow's title game and looking for the game's first run on this Friday night in Minnesota.
A metal roof lasts a lifetime. Thousands trust Metal Roof Outlet to install stylish, stone-coated metal roofing that looks just like traditional shingles. Make a smart and worthwhile investment for your home with Metal Roof Outlet. Contact us through metalroofoutlet.com to get a quote for a roof replacement anywhere in Southern Ontario. Because when you trust Metal Roof Outlet with your roof replacement, it may be the last time you ever replace your roof.
Waymo Mata throwing well, as he has all tournament long. He has held Hill United to just 1 hit in the first 2 innings. In fact, both teams have 1 hit so far.
Peter, to use another sports analogy, it feels like a heavyweight fight where there's a couple of jabs, just feeling each other out. Nobody's thrown a haymaker yet.
Nick White, the batter, the 21-year-old from Truro, Nova Scotia. And he has really taken advantage of some extra playing time in his 3rd year with Hill United. .407 on the year is the batting average. Double, triple, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in for Nick, who leads the team by a considerable margin when it comes to stolen bases. And there is no shortage of speed in the bottom third of the Hill United lineup. And Blair, it was a big key last night late in that game against JDT.
Yeah, it was these 3 guys at the bottom of the order creating havoc out on the base paths for JDT.
White tries to drop down a bunt base hit. 3 for 6 is Nick. Nick still has a very busy couple of months of softball when this event comes to an end. He'll represent Canada at the upcoming World Games that begin next week in China. And then in the middle of September, he'll play in Argentina at a Pan Am U23 championship. Off the end of his bat that time for strike 2.
At home, Nick plays in the Shooters Bar and Grill League, as does Justin Schofield and virtually all of the Nova Scotia players here this week.
including Rowan Sears, who's part of the Hill United Chiefs here, with the absence of both Nick Shales and the injured Quentin Bruce. And the Chiefs would love to have those two guys in their quest for a repeat and a 7th ISC World Tournament title. And Juan Zara is shaken up.
Juan's going to get a couple of extra moments as that foul tip caught him in a bit of a tender spot. Always appreciate the umpires who will find ways to give their catchers a bit of extra time, whether it's cleaning the plate, walking the ball out to, and he's commiserating because I'm sure Eric Corus has had that happen to him too.
That's good umpiring. 2-2 to Nick White.
Supposed to be Glenn Brown, but I don't think that's Glenn Brown back there either.
Mata bears down and has his second strikeout of the evening. Luciano Biondi, just 22 years of age, from Argentina, leads the team in batting average, .423, and he's an impressive 5 for 12 here at the ISC World Tournament. Double, home run, 4 runs batted in. A double and a run batted in last night against JDT First Energy. And he really got on a roll, Blair, late at the USA Major Men's National Championship in Oklahoma City.
Hit the ball really well in those last couple of games. And again, this is somebody when the ball gets on the ground, he flies. You can't let the ball bounce twice, or you can't let it bounce in and out of your glove.
How many World Cups is he going to play in before he's all said and done?
Yeah, he'll have a ways to go to catch up to Cole Evans.
Good point.
But he'll play maybe 4.
Again, not unlike Nick White with that excellent speed. Tempted to lay down a bunt. There will not be another World Cup until the year 2029. So it will be a bit of a wait on the world calendar. Biondi will play for Argentina at the upcoming World Games. First time men's fast pitch softball has been in a multi-sport competition for a while.
And that one got a bite again out of Juan Zara.
Boy, this is a rough go for him.
Yeah, he's bent down right at the edge of the screen there.
Both Shane Boland and Bradley Ezekiel coming over. And it takes a lot for him, too. Those guys behind home plate are tough customers.
Oh, he's a tough guy.
And nobody cleans a camera better when it's raining.
He will forever wear that badge of honor.
For me, he will. Hope he's okay. It's the second time in this half inning alone he's been shaken up. Gets a nice round of applause from a pretty good crowd. I wouldn't say it's the biggest crowd that we've had this week in this time slot, but it's a good one.
It's a good one indeed. Lots of lawn chairs past the bleachers and past the dugouts along the outfield fence.
Almost a perfect evening weather-wise. Ball and 2 strikes. And Waymo Mata in fine form is back-to-back strikeouts, as he has now retired the last 6 straight batters he has faced. This is not the same pitcher I've been watching for the last 2 years.
No, not at all.
This is the guy that I have remembered watching mostly internationally and at an ISC or two.
Well, the 2022 ISC was, on the club scene, Huemo Mata's crowning achievement. That championship game late in the evening in Moline after a 3.5-hour rain delay, 150 pitches to win the ISC championship.
Shane Boland grounded back to the pitcher in the first. 2 out for the Chiefs in the top of the third inning.
He's in the 79, 80 mile an hour range. He'll top up to 81, 82, Peter, but he's not going to be into Marco Diaz territory.
Shakes out that right pitching arm. And did not miss the mark by much. Shane Boland. Now 2 for 11 here at the ISC World Tournament. 8 for 24 a year ago in helping Hill United to the title. And a 3-time All-World player is the longtime Hill United Chief and shortstop with Canada's national team. Canada will graduate many between now and 2029.
Well, you and I counted up at least 9 guys that we figured on the current team this would be their last hurrah.
Not sure about Shane, but he's
on the border.
He's right on the border. He'd be 38. For the next one, check swing, off balance, but still more than effective. Another 1-2-3 inning for Huemo Mata, who has his best, it would appear, again tonight in this winner's bracket final at the ISC World Tournament on Softball Premier TV.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
Marco Diaz and Huemo Mata, 2 of the best on planet Earth, involved in a pitcher's duel to begin this winner's bracket final. Zach Shaw hitting very well, despite the fact that the USA national team member bats in the number 9 hole. That's a nice luxury to have when he bats 9th.
He's really improved at the plate over the last couple of years, Peter. The 9 spot for Zach Shaw was a difficult spot for a couple of years. In the last, I want to see, season and a half, but especially this year, he's hit the ball all over the place.
4 for 10, has a couple of homers here and 4 runs batted in. Overall for the Drillers this season, he leads them in batting average at .432.
Both of those home runs came against Ostrander in that late game the other night, and it's a shame that that was not played in front of more people. It was a phenomenal game.
And Diaz finds the outer portion. 2 balls and a strike to Zach Shaw. The only time he struggled this season to hit the ball was at the World Cup, Blair. Didn't have a hit. Viavazo with a tough play to make, and strong throwing arm to get Zach Shaw for out number 1. Lenny Villavazzo ranging to his right, and then a strong throw to get Zach Shaw. Teo Migliavaca, such a threat, can take you out of the yard. We saw last night him lay down a great bunt base hit, and had it not been for a spectacular play by Cole Evans to start the game, he would have had 2 hits. One would have been a slap hit, and the other was flat out great bunt.
He's such a threat. For me, he's in that top 10 list of the best hitters in the world. And for that reason, Peter, because he can be a power threat, because he can knock the ball 8 feet and beat it out.
4 for 12. Struck out versus Marco Diaz in the first. And Diaz falls behind Migliavaca.
Well, they're trying to work that outside corner again, and we talked about, and you've already mentioned it, struggled to get that call 2 nights ago.
Not so much tonight. 3 balls to Migliavaca, who's taking all the way. And Diaz bends one in for strike 1. Teo hit a marvelous .556 at last year's ISC World Tournament. He was 10 for 18. That'll get you on an all-world team. And he has questions.
88 miles an hour from Marco Diaz. Teo's going to go take a walk. He's got a bit of a sardonic grin at the moment.
So Diaz comes back with a couple of strikes. And Migliavaca fouls that. Well out of play. I think it ended up on diamond 1, which is currently vacant outside of a couple of people I see playing catch in the outfield.
Well, we wanted to give as much feature attraction as we could. I'm sure when Rich Haldane was putting the schedule together, he looked at this, obviously, as the marquee attraction of the night. The Legends program has mostly wrapped up their playoff games. One more on the go still, says Joe Todd, practicing his semaphore. Well, that would be a decent game then. Canada Maccabi with Patty Shannon, Jared Martin, and a couple of other pickups.
Another 3-2 to Migliavaca. And he is having himself a quality at-bat. And he's no stranger to them. 5 for 14 for Argentina, and a very disappointing World Cup for 3 countries: Canada, Argentina, and Australia. Many predicted those 3 to be on the top part.
Well, yours truly was one of them.
Well, I would have been too if I had an opportunity to predict. And Migliavaca thought it was ball 4. The home plate umpire, other ideas. Guys need to be careful. Again, it's good quality umpiring. There was a day where you really couldn't argue balls and strikes.
No, not at all. Bruno was set up outside the plate and caught that over the outside knee. I think if that pitch is going to be there for Marco Diaz all night, he would be wise to go to it a lot.
Blaine Milheim is the only hit off Diaz, as he went the other way and hit one into right field. Between Gonzalez and Villavazzo at first and second. 2 away in the bottom of the third. A berth in tomorrow's championship final. On the line, Viavazo, some kind of play. My goodness, what a defensive effort by the Chiefs second baseman. He may have hurt himself a little bit in making it happen.
All the way over behind the bag, the jump throw, and don't underestimate the dig out here by Tony Gonzalez.
Sensational defense to rob Blaine Milheim of a hit. 0-0 through 3 here in Mankato.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that. A fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
You never know when a defensive play could turn a game. Blair, we just witnessed one that maybe could turn a game, made by Lenny Viavazo, who just makes a spectacular play right here to retire Blaine Milheim.
You could put this up against any Major League Baseball web gem, as they call them, and that stacks up right there.
Could not agree more. Bradley Ezekiel, the batter. On the season, he's 31 for 89. Michael White. First ever ISC World Tournament I was lucky enough to watch. Michael White was the star in Saskatoon in 1987 when he pitched Teleconnect to that title. It's also the first time I watched a guy by the name of Brad Underwood.
Yeah, he was pretty good too.
Who had an arm the size of this park.
I watched Michael White in 2002 in Kitchener in tandem with Doug Middleton as the St. Joe's, Missouri Frontier Casino Players come out of nowhere and upset Gerald Muslar and the Broken Bow team to win the World Championship that year.
Lenny Viavazo in the batter's box after making that spectacular defensive play to end the bottom of the third. Lenny flew out to Jordan Solorio, a fellow countryman, in left field. Blair, if Mexico continues to find some pitching 4 years from now, they're going to be a problem.
This kid, Carlos Parra, is a prodigy to keep an eye on. He's already got a world-class changeup.
You think about, Viavazo would be 30 years old then. The two Solorios, Panuelos.
Oh, there's no shortage of good players.
No kidding. They were unable to qualify in 2025. They'll be a handful in the qualifying process leading up to 2029. Ball and 2 strikes to Viavazo, and Mata upstairs. He has had excellent command from the get-go.
I'm not sure how old he is, although he just had a birthday here this week. Alan Salgado here with the Bear Creek Express. He hits the ball a ton for Mexico.
Popped in the air. No trouble for Cam Schiller here, I wouldn't think, and it isn't. And Mata continues to roll right along. And this is a team that on the year, in regards to Hill United, as a team collective batting average, Blair, entering this game of .340.
Never a doubt that this Chiefs team would score runs. Matching them blow for blow this week has been the Drillers. I don't know about all season long, but the Drillers here this week have looked mighty impressive at the plate.
Hill United, in watching just about every one of their games, with the exception of the tournament that they won in Kitchener late in June, they've had some interesting ups and downs in the hitting department. Even at Oklahoma City, it didn't start well in that category, and then they got hot in a game against this team on Championship Sunday of that event.
That loser bracket final between these two teams was almost like it was 2 games in one.
It was.
I watched and listened to you do that game, did a great job as you always do, but I thought at one point the Drillers were going to take that one.
Well, it had that feel. It really did. I felt exactly the same way upstairs in the booth. Hill trailed that game 4-3 going to the bottom of the 5th, and then they took off. Alan Pecker had a lot to do with it. And Waymo Mata is cruising. He's retired 10 Hill United batters in a row. 0-0 in this winner's bracket final here in Mankato.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Marco Diaz trying to match Waymo Mata tonight. The pitcher's duel. Only, by my count, I believe, 2 hits in the game. Jordan Solorio, one of those on the rise players from Mexico. He's just 22 years of age. Fortunately, his brother Emiliano unable to participate. He's on this team too.
Yeah, that's a real unfortunate situation. He was heartbroken about not being able to get here. I talked to Ron and Amy Hackett both about that, and nothing that could be done about it. He'll look forward to the fall season and into the winter, playing in Mexico, and be back in the U.S. and Canada on the tournament circuit next year.
He had himself a whale of a tournament at the Chiefs Challenge, where these two teams met.
Well, Jordan injured himself earlier in the year, too. And Emiliano, because of that, got more playing time and really thrived.
Jordan on the ground. Blake Hunter has to hurry in time.
And speaking of, he came up a little bit lame over there. He's going to run that off going back to the dugout, but he did not look comfortable crossing the bag. You'll see it here on the replay.
And Blake doing the smart thing. If you've knocked it down already, no need to put it back in your glove. And if he had, he might not have thrown out Solorio for the first out. A change up to Juan Zara that has, what'd you refer to it? A sardonic grin?
Yes.
That's a nice term. I don't know if you would say that the look on Marco's face was of that nature, but he was grinning. Zara hits it hard into right field. Just for a second, I thought it might go towards the gap, but Alan Pecker, who runs as well as anybody and tracks balls so effectively, able to cut it off, as Zara has just the second hit of the game for the Drillers.
Yeah, got all of it, inside-out swing right over the head of Villavazo, and absolutely credit to Alan Pecker for cutting that off. I thought the exact same thing, Peter, that was going to get to the gap.
Second time around in the order for both these teams now. And that was a sharp single. That's the best hit ball of the night
without
in this game.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So 1 out and 1 on for the Drillers. And they ask, but Schiller does not go around. He struck out when Northeast threatened. Jeff Ellsworth is going to come out of the Hill United Chiefs dugout. He was named to the ISC Hall of Fame class of 2026. And once again, congratulations to the pride of Prince Edward Island. Next week, he will be coaching PEI's entry in women's play at the Canada Summer Games. Or that event starts a week from tomorrow on the 10th. That's when they play their first game in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Is he going to China with the men's team?
He is not going.
He is not going to China.
No, he's coaching at the Canada Summer Games.
I was just wondering if, when you said it was starting a week tomorrow, if he was going to. It wouldn't surprise me if Jeff would somehow try to squeeze in both.
That's very true. Probably sell about 6 houses next week, too. 3 balls and a strike to Cam Schiller. Bruno set up outside. That pitch very much towards the inside portion, but a strike. Another full count. This one versus Schiller, and walked him.
And you just saw Marco Diaz spin around, tap himself on the chest, and blaming himself for missing his spot.
So first and second, only 1 out, and here comes Jeff Ellsworth out of the dugout again, but this time it's to have a meeting in the circle, as he knows how important runs are going to be at a premium in this game, it would appear.
It may take only 1 run, but this visit is strictly to slow things down, give Marco a chance to catch his breath, remind everybody on the infield there's only 1 out. Blake Hunter will be alert to the opportunity to get a ground ball from Anoka and step on the bag and throw to first for 2.
So another opportunity for the Drillers to strike first. And it gets away from Matroni. Cam Schiller hesitated for a second.
Yeah, he got hung up. I don't think he was sure where the ball was. Tom Anoka was waving everybody over.
And now the infield in for Anoka. Tough time for that pitch. As Diaz falls behind. 2 balls and no strikes. There is a base open here, Blair. hit hard, a base hit, and it's going to score the game's first run. Just in front of Bradley Ezekiel, who couldn't quite get to it. And that's the first run Hill United has given up at the ISC World Tournament.
Well, we're here on Friday, a solid base hit from the bat of Thomas Anoka. Brad Ezekiel came in on it and realized he wasn't going to get to it and made a really good play to trap it, keep it in front of him. Peter, that could easily have kicked off the glove and been disastrous or fortuitous, depending on your point of view.
So it has taken 5 games for Hill United to give up a run in Mankato. And the Drillers have a 1-0 lead, and there's still runners at the corners for Marshall Cronk with 1 out. Thomas Anoka delivers the game's first run with his 10th run batted in of the event. Two balls and a strike to Cronk, who grounded into a 6-4-3. Double play his last time up. And that's one of the best rise balls that Marco Diaz has thrown in this game. Cronk fouls it back.
And late on that 86-mile-an-hour drop.
Well, if ever Marco Diaz in this event was to deliver a strikeout, this would be a good time. Came into the game with 45 of them here at the ISC. Has added 4 more tonight. There has been a number of full counts that he has had to deal with in this game. And Cronk stays alive, fouling that into the mesh screen.
75 pitches already, Peter, just here in the 4th.
Here's the payoff again. Strike 3. And that one bent away and down from Cronk, who goes down swinging. Watch the late movement here. Always so critical.
Well, this is actually a rise ball, a low rise. And Peter, in the back of my mind, I was wondering, with 2 runners aboard here, would we see Riley Macchia? And here we are, as he's going to pinch hit for Gonzalo Masmu.
Riley Macchia delivered a massive blow, and they're going to put him on.
Well, they're very smart, because Zach Shaw is a good hitter, don't get me wrong, but Riley Macchia, Peter, coming into this event, and it's too bad that he's hurt. It really is. He might have been the best hitter in the world coming into this event.
And they'll run for him because he is well under 100%. He hurt himself in a game against Hill United in Oklahoma City, trying to throw a ball back in from deep right field. He planted the wrong way, So 2 out, bases are now loaded for Shaw. And I don't know if there can be any more ultimate respect than when you move somebody into scoring position by walking someone intentionally.
Well, 2 out, it sets up a force at any base.
Gets away from Matrone, but that mesh, and Matrone really bounced back to get it. And with Schiller, the base runner, who certainly is a terrific player, but there are many faster Northeast drillers.
Well, that's a break for the Chiefs, because if that's a wire mesh fence, that ball just hits the fence and drops to the dirt. Here, with the spring and these nylon mesh barriers, it comes right back.
And it's not far back either. Up and in, a swing and a miss. In this very critical situation, the Drillers have scored the game's opening run on the base hit by Thomas Inoka and lead this winner's bracket final 1-0. Zach grounded out to Lenny Villavazzo at second base, his first time at home plate in this game. His shot takes a big, deep breath before he steps back in. The 1-2 on its way. Tried to get him with a rise ball.
The Drillers bench, Peter, in full throat over here to our left on the third base side. They are into this.
Well, it helps when you score first. The two teams with perfect 4-0 records. A berth in the title game on the line tonight. Change up. Quite a time to pull the string. The Chiefs give up one. It could have been much worse. And Zach Shaw missed it by a considerable margin. But the Drillers are on the board. They lead at 1-0. You're watching the 2025 ISC World Tournament right here on Softball Premier TV.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
The Northeast Drillers strike first in this winner's bracket final. Only 4 teams remain in the hunt for the ISC World Championship. Tomorrow at 9:30, the other 2 still alive. Bear Creek Express, and I would suggest, Blair, the surprising STK fastball team. Gonzalez, Tess Schiller. And there's a rocket across the diamond for out number 1. Gonzalez hit it hard. That might be as good a contact as any Chief has made off Waymo Mata.
Yeah, I would agree that that's as hard a hit ball as they've had tonight. You know, we talked about that streak of 14 years by the Gremlins playing on Championship Saturday. As much as I'm going to miss having the Gremlins out there, I'm thrilled to see a brand new team like STK just in their second year of existence. And Peter, you and I might have a shot at this one. A little further behind us. I'm glad to see STK making the most of the opportunity that they've got. And don't sleep on that team. That's going to be a real good game between the Express and STK. Would not at all be surprised to see STK sneaking onto the podium.
Blake Hunter, the batter, with a strike to him. Change up. Solorio runs it down in foul territory. Boy, that hung up forever.
It did, and he went a long way to go get that.
And he still looks like something's bothering him.
I wonder if just something is jammed in his ankle. When he hit the bag at first base, it looked like he hit it pretty hard. And I wonder if that ankle is just a little tender.
He did cover a lot of ground, but it didn't look in flow or in rhythm as a runner. Alan Pecker. The championship Saturday in Surrey for the ages. In 3 consecutive Hill United Chief wins on that Saturday. 6 for 9, 4 home runs, 9 runs batted in, 2 home runs in the title game. Does he have one in him tonight?
Peter, when I gave a copy of the 2025 ISC World Championship Guide to Alan, he was so appreciative of the fact that, of course, he's on the cover. It just meant so much to him.
And that one finally came down as Allen removes his helmet, steps back in. Hill United with just one hit off Waymo Mata, who has been at his best here in Mankato. I don't think anyone would argue that point. Change up, down and away. Every single Alan Pecker hit this week has been for extra bases. He has 3 of them. A double and 2 triples. He's yet to go yard.
Peter, this is the at-bat that, I mean, everybody in the lineup can hit the ball out on both of these teams, but to me, this might be the key at-bat.
And Waymo Mata's role continues on this Friday night. Another 1-2-3 inning for Mata and the Drillers as they lead the Chiefs heading to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 here in Mankato.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Waymo Mata has retired the last 13 batters that he has faced, and his team, the Northeast Drillers, supplied him with a go-ahead run in their last at-bat. The run batted in, the only one of the game, belongs to Thomas Anoka as they find themselves at the top of their order with Teo Migliavaca. And a swing and a miss from number 59, who has struck out twice against Marco Diaz. who has 6 strikeouts to his credit in the game. And a base hit into left field as that jumped off the bat in a hurry. And Migliavacca has his first hit of this winner's bracket final.
That one was scorched by Teo Migliavacca.
His 5th hit of the ISC World Tournament. And that was a no-doubter. In fact, Nick White had to make sure that he played it well so that it wouldn't go by him. That's how hard and quickly it got out into left. Milheim fouls it away. And you can just feel the confidence oozing from the Drillers' dugout.
Joe often talks about hitting being contagious. They put a couple together last inning to score the run, and we'll see if that continues here in the 5th.
Chiefs were able to get out of a bases-loaded situation after yielding the run. It was Diaz with one of his better drops of the game. The 0-2.
A real good drop ball on the outside corner from Marco Diaz. Milheim chasing after it, but this ball just disappears at the plate.
Jordan Solorio reached on a fielder's choice when Hill United failed to complete a double play. Ting! That made an interesting noise, and apparently I needed to. After giving up the hit to Migliavacca, Diaz has worked in a lot of deep counts tonight, Blair, and from behind.
Oh, and that's the difference from a night ago where he was consistently ahead.
On the ground, could be 2, is 2.
Not much that Teo Migliavacca could do. He's off on the crack of the bat, and the path of the ball just took Lenny Vazzo together, and an easy double play.
1-0. We head to the 6th in this winner's bracket showdown in Mankato, Minnesota.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca.
A pinch hitter to begin the 6th for Hill United. Waymo Mata has retired the last 13 that he has faced. Lopez has homered in this event, hit a 2-run shot against the Kegel Black Knights. He's 2 for 7 in the event. On the year, he's batting .364, 4 homers and 16 runs batted in.
Peter, this is the guy you need to just run into one here from Huemo Mata. We talked off air about getting him into the game, and this is the perfect spot.
Mata looks in, that arm shake. And 2 balls.
Did not go around.
Almost surprised they asked in some regard. But why wouldn't you? You don't have a lot to lose, everything to gain. So Lopez, as Mata falls behind, and Lopez cranked that, but foul. He hit it hard, turned on the inside pitch in a hurry.
That's Edgar Lopez right there. Anything inside, he's going to hit.
The Chiefs looking for a spark. Mata has been in the driver's seat all night. And Lopez able to stay off the rise ball. And Mata, unlike Marco, has not been in this situation a whole lot in this run of 13 straight that he sat down. That might have been ball 4.
Well, that was the rise ball that he did get Lopez to chase. It was virtually the same pitch as the one he just laid off on.
The count full to the pinch hitter to start the 6th in Edgar Pipolo Lopez. Missed outside.
So now Nick White will get the opportunity to get right back into the game. There he is, emerging from the dugout. And that pitch not really that close. And how long do you wait before you put Nick White in motion? Jeff Ellsworth and the group typically have not waited long.
This is a bit of a different scenario, Blair.
It is, but this might be your only chance.
I know you're not a big proponent of bunting.
Oh, I think he's absolutely up here bunting beyond he is. This is the conversation right now with Jeff Ellsworth. Ron Hackett, you got to be aware of the speed on first. Don't leave too early because Biondi could push one through to Schiller. And Peter, just while we're in a break, and by request, I want to say hello to the chat in YouTube watching the game.
Luciano Biondi. Pipolo Lopez drew a walk. Now Nick White in to run. And Biondi tries to lay down a high rise that was out of the strike zone.
Really difficult to bunt a good rise ball.
As Jeff Ellsworth goes through the signs. It's been a dandy tonight. And this time he elects. And Nick White, boy, did he was
crawling on his hands
literally.
And knees.
But with pace.
Could not get back to the bag fast enough.
But he did it with pace. I've never seen a guy move that fast on 2 knees. That was something to behold. Gets it down, and for a base hit.
What did I talk about not leaving your position too quickly? Put it right through the seam. That's the bunt of the year from Luci Biondi.
2 on, nobody out, trailing by a run. Luciano Biondi with his 6th hit. of this World Tournament. You wanted him to get it down. He did even better than that. And now are you asking Shane Boland to do it? The 34-year-old Chiefs captain, Shane Boland. And he showed bunt and pulled back the bat. You wanted a little drama? You've got it now. Mata had retired 13 in a row prior to the start of the 6th. And Boland fouls it back.
Peter, a keen observation by my good friend Matt Palazzo. Wemo Mata falls off to third base. If the Chiefs are bunting, look for them to try and place it on that path that Luchi Biondi just did. Exactly right now where Zach Shaw is standing to Wemo Mata's left.
See if the bunt's still on at 1-1. It isn't. And Boland fouls it back. Shane has grounded out twice back to the pitcher, Wemo Mata. And here's the 1-2. On the ground, Masmu can't handle it. And the bases are loaded.
Boy, that's a key error right there for Gonzo Masmu. Short hop into the chest. And that's a potential double play, or this situation now, the bases are loaded and nobody out.
For Bradley Ezekiel. Well, the guy you would want up in this situation if you're Hill United. 8-time All-World player. Team leader in home runs and runs batted in this season. Trying to tie the game. And it gets away from Zara, and the game is tied.
Unraveling here for the Drillers. A combination wild pitch pass ball. It's way in tight to Brad Ezekiel. And they're lucky that Thomas Anoka was backing up that play coming down from first. Pinch runner for Shane Boland, Peter.
Alejo Gonzalez, the young 19-year-old from Mexico. Another late addition. He was part of the group, had one pinch running situation in Oklahoma City. Now a base open, and I had this feeling.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. You would put Bradley Ezekiel aboard. Lenny Villavazzo, a fly out to left and a pop fly to Schiller at short, but this is no gimme at all.
Nobody out. Hill United has evened the game on a wild pitch that allowed pinch runner Nick White to score easily from third. And a strike from Wemo Mata.
Mata needs a strikeout here.
Luciano Biondi, a key bunt base hit. And Villavazzo fouls it back to the screen. Is Mata working this time from in front? Viavazo has flown out to left and popped out to second baseman Zach Shaw. Lenny Viavazo, the 26-year-old from Mexico, hitting .421 this year with runners in scoring position. But he can't deliver in this spot. And Waymo Mata has his most important of the 6 strikeouts of this evening. And the batter is the 39-year-old veteran, Bruno Matroni. And Matroni just able to get out of the road. Men's fast pitch softball at its best on this Friday night in Mankato.
That pitch way upstairs and falling behind 2-0 to Bruno Matroni. A key spot here. Bruno Matroni, one of the best clutch hitters around.
Bases loaded, 1 out. The tying run is crossed home plate. That's ball 3. And you got to believe he's taking all the way here. Ball 4.
Mata in a bit of disbelief.
And Hill United has taken a 2-1 lead.
Well, that's usually almost an automatic call there. Let's see where this is. Inside.
Bruno Matroni, his 18th run batted in of the year, comes by way of walk, and by far his most important one to this point of the season. Quite a turn of events here in the 6th.
Tony Gonzalez had the hardest hit ball of the night, too. Just happened to be right at Cam Schiller.
And it hit him.
What a turnaround here in the 6th. Waymo Mata was absolutely cruising through this game, and it has just turned to ashes here in the 6th.
Tony Gonzalez hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and it's 3-1 Hill United. Blake Hunter looks at an excellent first pitch changeup from Mata. Wild pitch scored a run, a walk scored a run, a hit batter scored a run. You're not gonna find that in too many scorebooks.
You won't, but it's all self-inflicted.
And Blake Hunter would love to make contact and add to the advantage. Blake's hit a team-leading .450 this year with the runners in scoring position. But goes down swinging on 3 straight Waymo Mata pitches. Boy, that's composing yourself in a hurry.
Well, now you got to face Alan Pecker, who struck out to end the previous inning, the 9th batter to the plate here.
Chiefs have indeed batted around. Hunter runs for Bruno Matroni. And Alan Pecker trying to blow it open if he can. And they call that a strike.
Well, he went around somehow trying to bail out.
Yeah, he was really caught. Anxious, wanted to turn on one, Blair, by the looks of things, and then spun himself into the earth.
Yeah. Betwixt and between.
That too. And Mata with a fine drop, swung on and missed. And Pecker sent that rise ball straight back. And Mata working with 2 strikes in his back pocket. You do not want to give out a 2-strike base hit in this spot, or any for that matter, but especially not here. Pecker gets into one, but Migliavaca will track it. Hit it hard. Imagine this. Hill United bats around, scores 3, and did it, Blair, with 1 hit.
Yeah. Self-inflicted.
Lots of game left. To the bottom of the 6th, and the Chiefs have gone in front by a pair in this winner's bracket final in Mankato.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Hill United send 9 to the plate, score 3 times, and have 1 hit. I don't know if I ever remember an inning quite like it. And they're in front, 3-1, but this Driller team more than capable with 2 at-bats to cause havoc.
And Peter, every year when I come to the World Tournament, I think, what new thing am I going to see here? And that inning was out of left field. Did not see any of that coming.
Remember that Mott had retired 13 in a row.
Like, we called Lopez coming in to hit, and we thought that there was going to be a bunt situation, but past that, my goodness.
Juan Zara begins the inning with a line out into the glove of Shane Boland, who didn't have to move barely an inch.
Something tells me this may not yet be the final score.
Drop ball in the outside corner to Cam Schiller. Struck out and walked in the game.
There you see the half moon that we've got here in Mankato. Maybe a full moon would have explained that inning.
Well, we've seen some odd things this week. For 2 nights in a row, weather that I don't need to see anytime soon.
Ever again would be soon enough.
Agreed. 2 strikes on Schiller. And there's strike 3 looking.
And Marco Diaz looks more confident now, Peter, than he has at any time this evening.
Do not disagree. He's been solid, but has really never found the groove that we've seen from him earlier in this event. This would be a great time to find it, as he has his 8th strikeout of the game. Thomas Anoka drove in the game's first run. His last time in the batter's box. Diaz comes back with a strike. And Thomas Anoka has another hit. He's 2 for 2. And that's a nice piece of hitting. Takes the drop the other way.
Marshall Cronk really needs to snap out of it. He has been scuffling here this week.
Well, he's capable. Takes strike 1 from Diaz. Hill United, 3 runs in odd fashion to take the lead, but the tying run is at home plate. And just for a second, I thought that one might end up at the screen. Bruno Matroni. Not sure what's going on here. Did it break his glove?
I think it did. I think he's looking for a new mitt.
Not the world's best time for that to happen. Yeah, that's exactly the case.
Yeah, everybody carries a spare.
Bruno with a big laugh.
He and Tony are finding it funny, at least.
Now Tony's going to help him tighten it up a little bit. Bruno drew a bases-loaded walk to make it 2-1. Then Tony was hit by a pitch that made it 3-1.
As the expression goes, did not see that coming.
Not for a millisecond. So with new glove in hand, Diaz misses away to Marshall Cronk. Marshall has hit into a double play and struck out in the game. And this bouncer allows Anoka to move up into scoring position. Two and two.
I was just about to say the same thing, 2-2, as Marshall chased after that pitch. It was way inside.
Yeah, he was fooled on it. And Cronk keeps his at-bat going. I have him officially this week at 1 for 9. Another 2-2 on the way. Change up, and just stuck his bat out at it.
Yeah, that was just bat control, just a little desperation just to try to foul that off. Not the pitch that Marshall had any interest in going after.
Two and two. 2 outs with a runner at second. Full count.
Come back with the changeup again.
I don't think he will.
No, he's not gone to that pitch at all for the strikeout, but certainly it isn't anything that Kronk seems to want a part of.
We'll see what he brings. Missed. And the batter is Gonzalo Masmu, the third baseman who made an error in that 6th inning. And just when it looked like Diaz was starting to really find it, more trouble has ensued.
I'm shocked that there's not a pinch runner out here for Kronk. Gennaro Correa would seem to be a natural here.
As Masmu fouls it towards his own dugout. He's walked and struck out in the game. 3-1, lots of drama remaining. The winner advances to tomorrow's title game. Interesting, a couple of games ago, Marco was having trouble finding the corner to left-handed batters with a drop. Tonight, at times, it's been to the righties. This one knocked Bruno's glove off. The new one.
It's a real awkward pitch to go get. Your temptation is to go after it backhanded because that's how you're set up. You've got to turn the glove over and open it up.
Justin Schofield is warming up. And the drop ball swung on and missed by Masmu. A lot of key pitches in the game. This would be yet another one. I don't have track of it, but it feels like in the neighborhood of a dozen full counts that Diaz has found himself in.
I think at least that, yeah.
Well, he retired the first 2 batters in the inning, but Anoka with a hit, and then the walk to Kronk.
Sorry, Peter.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say Marco Diaz up to 112 pitches here in the 6th.
Found one when he needed it. Strikeout number 9 to get Masmu. The Drillers threaten, but leave 2, and it's 3-1 heading to the 7th of the 2025 ISC World Tournament on the streaming network, courtesy of our fine friends at Softball Premier TV.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
(3-1) Hill United in front. They scored 3 in the 6th, and they did it with 1 hit. Took advantage of an error. A wild pitch scored Nick White. A walk scored run number 2, and a hit batter scored the 3rd run. As White takes ball 1 from Waymo-Mata, and that's one of the few times number 4 has had, I can't believe that wasn't a strike. An interesting pose just outside the circle.
Yeah, that was a bit of a stare down from Waymo-Mata. He's been curious about a couple of calls in the latter part of the innings.
Throws a change up to the 21-year-old Nick White. Scored the run after Pipolo Lopez drew a very important walk to begin that 6th inning. And speed puts pressure on defenses and pitchers. The 2-1 to Nick White. Missed on a bunt attempt.
I'm a little surprised that more teams don't employ that slap defense against Nick. He doesn't do it in the sense of a traditional old school slapper like a Paul Rosebush, but it would take away a lot of that ability for him to be able to do that if they just tightened up a little bit.
He has some power. He's homered a couple of times this year. But you're right, for him, when he puts a ball in play, especially to the left side of the diamond, he has a chance to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, Mosmu is, now I know there's 2 strikes, but he's only 2.5 steps in front of the bag. And he was not much further than that coming in earlier in the count.
And Mata with a rise and a good one to get Nick White to begin the 7th. I think he's up to 8 strikeouts in the game. Maybe I've missed one.
I have 8 as well.
Of anything that occurred in the 3-run 6 for Hill United, Blair, I think you'd agree, nothing more important than what turned into a bunt slap type base hit in the infield.
Yeah, he just pushed that. Mata falls to 3rd, as Matt Palazzo pointed out. Shaw was over covering the bag on the bunt, as he should. And Biondi, you couldn't have walked it out there any better.
No.
That's the bunt of the year.
Mata, 2 quick strikes on Luciano Biondi, who has 6 hits here in Mankato. not unlike Nick White, when he puts it in play, there's trouble for the defense.
Yeah, he just skates down the line.
That's a great description, my friend. I like that one a lot. And he's probably never had a pair on.
I thought you might enjoy a hockey reference.
Well, you know, I get a lot of that. I had some of it this week.
I saw you took Jeff Ellsworth with you, too.
Yeah, he came. John Stewart, a longtime hockey scout, as well as a ball coach. This popped in the air. Zach Shaw, give him a lot of credit. He went a long way to try and track that down.
And just good back control by Luci Biondi, trying to pop that over the infield. Certainly did that, but couldn't keep it fair. Look at the effort here by Shaw. Just short.
Hope he didn't hit his chin. And he'll take his time, stretches out the legs on his way back. The 31-year-old from Odessa, Missouri.
He's shaking out
He
that
is.
right leg a little bit.
I thought he looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's got his hand on the knee.
Biondi able to stay off.
And now limping, too. Shaw hurt the right leg. Can we get a shot of Zach Shaw? Zach Shaw.
Yeah, he had his glove on his head, almost to suggest he was mad at himself. And Biondi will put his helmet back on.
There you see Shaw. One, he's banged up on the elbow, but he is really favoring that right leg.
Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. And Mata finally retires Biondi for out number 2 of the 7th.
Boy, he's a real disruptor at the plate. He's got guys running everywhere. He's trying to pop the ball over the infield. We saw him pop one out of the park the other day.
And nobody can really do it the way he does. Like, it's almost a style Blair of his own. As Mata starts Shane Boland with a changeup out of the zone. Shane's ground ball that Gonzalo Masmu failed to handle. Another big part of that 3-run Chiefs 6th inning. They're in front by a pair.
Short hop to Masmu. Did a good job to keep it in front of him, but boy, that's a play you got to make in that moment.
Back-to-back changeups to Boland, who reached on an air and scored a run. He's officially 0 for 3 on the night. A high drive, but it'll stay in the park. Sounded pretty good when it left the bat.
Hit the bottom of it, not the back of it.
Bottom of the 7th. A berth in the championship final on the line. Zach Shaw leads it off. And Marco Diaz, who's had to work for everything in this game, opens with a ball to number 9, who was shaken up in the last half inning trying to make a play in foul territory.
And we'll see how that, if anything, affects his ability to get down the line.
Well, that swing looked just fine. Doesn't seem to be playing any havoc with a swing, but you're right. It's probably more about his running capacity. Some twists and turns again on Blair. You said it when we were off the air in between the inning. It's been quite a day of softball. From morning till night, everything on this diamond has been terrific.
It's been an outstanding day here at North Mankato Caswell Sports Park. The ISC games, and Marco covering the ear so he can hear the PitchCom device. When we don't have our headphones on, Peter, there's a buzz here in the crowd.
Quality swing by Shaw, who leads this team on the year in batting average.
And I think, Peter, only the Gremlins were using that one-way communication device at the U.S. Men's Major now almost 2 weekends ago. But there's a couple of other teams that have cottoned onto it here this week, realizing that it's permitted under the rules.
Zach Shaw, member of the United States national team. He is capable of hitting the long ball. If you are a driller, you want runners. And continues a good at-bat. 0 for 2 in the game, 4 for 12 in the tournament. And the count remains 1-2, and then it's to the dangerous top of the order. Two and two. Change up, and Shaw fights that off.
Able to keep the hands back was Zach Shaw. Interesting that almost like he was waiting on the changeup, Peter.
He's having a quality at-bat. Is Marco Diaz. Gets a ball back that he likes.
And he threw a knuckleball down to Bruno, too.
Of course he did, as you pointed out earlier. That's no knuckleball, and it's also not strike three. He thought it might have been.
Yeah, just off that outside corner.
Here's another full count for Diaz to deal in. Right through the merchandise tent with no merchandise in it right now.
No, they've packed up. They sold a lot of merch here this week. There are some people walking around with a lot of clothes, including Luciano Lafrano, who's got a sharp-looking long-sleeve pullover here. I see you've kind of got the winter gear going almost, too.
Struck him out with the drop ball. to retire Zach Shaw. Strikeout number 10.
That is a big out because it forces Migliavaca to have to get on here for Milheim, Solorio. Changes the dynamic of the inning just a little bit.
And a quick strike to Migliavaca, who hit a frozen rope into the outfield his last time in the batter's box. He's 1 for 3 in the game, 5 for 14 in the tournament.
Bruno with just a quick look back.
Migliavaca has homered a couple of times this year. And the rise ball that time at 81. Marco Diaz and Hill United trying to book a date in the title game. And they're one big step closer. Back-to-back strikeouts for Marco Diaz. Blaine Milheim trying to keep it going. Boland. Game over. And the Hill United Chiefs will have an opportunity to defend their ISC world title that they won a year ago in Surrey, British Columbia, and they do it in interesting fashion, Blair, as Boland fires to get Milheim to end the game.
Peter, I think they got out-hit, but the important part of the scoreboard is the runs. And it doesn't matter how you get them, however unconventional it may be, they all count. And the Hill United Chiefs found a way to win tonight.
A 3-run 6th inning when they managed 1 hit in that inning. Sent 9 to the plate, scored on a wild pitch, a bases-loaded walk, and a bases-loaded hit batter. You won't find that in your scorebook very often anywhere.
You would not have thought it going into that inning, the way Huemomata seemingly had the game on cruise control.
Well, the Chiefs bound for the title game. The Drillers will be in a noon time slot. They will take on the winner of tomorrow's first game between the Bear Creek Express and the surprising STK Fastballers from Kamloops, BC. That game set for 9:30. Blair, you said it a couple of times. Men's fast pitch softball in this Friday, in many ways, at its best. And we thank everybody for tuning in today, and we sure hope you'll join us for Championship Saturday. For Joe Todd, Blair Setford, Carol DeReste, and the man with more jobs than you could shake a stick at, Luciano Lafrano. So long for Mankato.
Called strike 3, the outside corner. They weren't out of that.
high in the air. Viavazo comes to get it, and the Chiefs are back to the top of the mountain. The gloves fly. The celebration is underway.